Greetings and welcome to What's New with Human Design as we follow the journey of the sun and the earth around the human design mandala. The sun and the earth change what gates they're in and therefore what energies they're lighting up every 5 to 6 days. So in this series, we are going to be highlighting what energies are available to you now during these transits that may not be available to you on a regular basis. If you want to find out more, you can watch the intro to this series and it'll give you a lot more details. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to be notified of when the next episode comes out. And if you want to find out more about my work, you can find me on the web at sovereigntybydesign.com. Hi everyone, Maggie here with episode number 6 of What's New with Human Design. Today is February 19th, 2021, and the sun moves into the gate 55 and the earth moves into the gate 59. Again, we have gates, one on the emotional solar plexus, the emotional center, and one that's on the sacral, which is the center for life force energy, primary Shakti prana energy. But this time they're in different circuits, so the quality of them is actually quite different, and I'll tell you as we go along. So the gate 55 in the I Ching is known as abundance. In quantum human design, it's been renamed as faith. It's an emotional energy that's about being connected to source. It's about that when we are aligned, when we're emotionally aligned and we're emotionally involved with, we're emotionally committed to our life purpose, our soul purpose, our values, what matters most to us, what stimulates us and what grows us, then we have a deep sense of abundance. And we have a deep sense that source is on our side, that we are spiritually connected, that we are fueled by what I call the creative flow of life, and that we are not alone at all, that in fact we're deeply connected to the web of life. And because of that, we experience great abundance. Because if you pause and you think about it, and if you do feel connected to the creative flow of life and to the greater web of life, then you know that you're never alone, because you're actually a part of something much larger. You're an individual expression of primary life force energy, of the God force, if you will, if of the universe, right? You are a center of consciousness within the one life. There's many ways to describe that sense of being a part of the whole, a microcosm of the macrocosm. And for you to know that who you are really matters, and that your contribution to the whole is significant, and that when you are standing in that place, and this is what the gate 55, the sun in the gate 55, gives us the opportunity to practice, is that sense of deep connection. And I want to emphasize it's an emotional connection. Right? It's something that is going to have a lot of power in you, right? Because emotions are very, very strong. And part of what we want to do as we are developing our emotional intelligence, which is one of the pillars of feminine sovereignty, it's pillar number 2 of feminine sovereignty, is we want to learn how to work with our emotional energy. I think that a lot of times in Western cultures, at any rate, emotions get a really bad rap. Like, you want to just kind of, control your emotions. You want to manage them, is the word that I see being used a lot around emotional intelligence. And what I want to suggest is, yes, of course, we want to be able to know how to contain strong energies like anger when it arises, right? We want to be able to contain it, and then we want to move that energy so that we're not throwing it out on other people, or we're not damaging ourselves by directing it at ourselves. I mean, absolutely we want to know how to do that. But emotional energy is creative energy, right? It's creative energy. So we want to be able to use it to create what we want in our lives. And if we're just busy suppressing our emotions all the time or rejecting them, then we're going to have a really hard time doing that. It's going to be difficult to be aligned because we're always in a kind of, one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake kind of a situation. So unleash thyself from that, liberate thyself from that, and grab a hold of that emotional energy and direct it towards what it is that you're excited about, what your vision is for your life and for your community and for our world, and use it to really build anticipation and positive expectation. And when you do that, you will have a real sense of abundance. Now, the 55 is part of the knowing circuit, and the knowing circuit is super cool. It's a really big circuit in human design, and it is an energy where it's one where you just know things and you don't know how you know them. You didn't learn it anywhere. Nobody told you, and yet you know. And you might also receive downloads, particularly if you have the upper part of that, which is defined in this chart for today, as it turns out. But the 55 is down on that emotional solar plexus, so it's not up near the head, but it is that kind of intuitive knowing energy. And so I just invite you to be tapping into that. If your faith wavers, if your belief in abundance, if your current life circumstances seems to be reflecting something else back to you, then I encourage you to tap into this sense of knowing. It's non-rational, it's non-logical, it's not reasonable, it's not analytical, it's not quantifiable. You can't do any of those things. So don't try to make your sense of abundance and your faith in source live up to that criteria, because it's not going to. And it will always fail. And so don't do that. Realize that you're really working with a much more right-brained, creative force that is, like I said, it's emotional, but it has this deep, deep sense of knowing. So that is the sun, where the sun is lighting up. And the sun is like our sun sign in astrology. I mean, it's the way that we radiate, right? So the sun needs a solid earth energy underneath it for it to be fully expressed. It doesn't mean that you can't have any access to that energy if the earth isn't solid, but when that earth energy is stable and solid, then the sun can shine much brighter. So with the 55, the sun in the 55, the earth is in the 59, which is on the sacral. So it is a primary life force energy. It's associated with sex and sexuality and work, and really building. The sacral is a building kind of energy. Many great builders are generators. If you have this colored in on your chart, you're a generator or a manifesting generator, as am I. And so the 59 in traditional human design is sexuality, because it is this kind of primary life force energy, and it's reaching over to the emotional solar plexus, if you will. Its mate is the 6, and so it is about intimacy, sexuality that is emotional, that ideally is really aligned with your heart, and what you need emotionally. And so one of the things that's said about the 59 is it's best if you become romantic partners, sexual partners with your best friend or with somebody who's a really good friend of yours, because that intimacy then has that quality to it as well. So Karen Curry Parker, who's the creator of Quantum Human Design, has renamed this gate as sustainability. And that is part of the sustainability of the tribe. This is a tribal energy. Is part of the defense circuit, and what we need with our life force energy at this time on planet Earth is we need sustainability. We need to know that our relationships are sustainable, that what we're investing our time, money, and energy into is sustainable. We have a really big call to be creating more sustainable energy sources, more sustainable ways of relating to the earth in a variety of different ways, for us to be sustainable in the way that we're relating to each other, the way that nations are relating to each other, and so on. So it really is happening, with our food culture, with our air and our water. All of these things are up right now. And so this energy of sustainability, which is connected to this primary life force energy, and it is reaching for that emotional quality, right? It is part of this, like the defense circuit is the part of the chart that is about creating children, recreating the tribe, making sure that the tribe is sustainable. This 59-6 is about procuring for the tribe, making sure that there are enough resources for the tribe, so you can see where this sustainability comes in. And so when you're thinking about the earth being here for you for these next 5 or 6 days, is where are you sustainable in your life or not sustainable? And is that in your relationships? Is it in your sex and sexuality? Is it in your work? Is it in your relationship to the earth? Is it your relationship to energy sources? You just to take a little bit of time to reflect on that and to bring yourself into alignment if you're not in alignment, so that you can have what you need, all the resources that you need sustainably moving forward into the future. And as you do that, that is going to provide a stable base for your sense of abundance, and for your faith in spirit, and your faith in that you are a part of the web of life. You are supported by the creative flow of life, and that you really have everything that you need. This is Maggie Ostara. Thank you so much for listening today. Many blessings, much love. Until next time.